District, you know the Pope listens. Dynasty, our religion, for the blokes missing. On all of these trades, on all of these plays, on all of these grades. By the end of the day, y'all getting played. So, what you gonna do next? Try to fill up that flex? Send the homie a text? That trash offer's the best? You try to make it complex, then they text you back. Now all of a sudden they don't make any sense. Broaden your horizons, boy. Dynasty's not for the Simons, boy. These trades not for consignment, boy. Respect your opponent, y'all some piranhas, boy. This my advice, from me to you. Open up your cute little podcast queue. Search up GOAT District, my dude. Pop it in your ear, man, y'all know what to do. It's the... And I always be traded. And I always be traded. And I always be trading. Y'all try to betray them, but first you gotta bait them. Fish.
What is up, Fantasyland? We're back in the draft room, GOAT District edition. This time it's for a Big Gorilla, hanging out in the jungle Saturday morning. 350 buy-in, 1 million up top with my man, Dan. Dan, does it get better than this? Waking up on a Saturday morning with a nice draft ahead of us.
Absolutely. Nice leisurely morning, cup of coffee, look at the latest NFL news and get ready to start drafting. Love it.
So we got the 4 spot. We had a 3 spot main that we just dropped yesterday, which was fun, was interesting. Was an interesting draft. It was one of those where, like you said, Dan, it wasn't our usual builds, but you got to adapt to the room. It was a pretty sharp room, but I think we did pretty good with it.
Yeah, I think so too. I liked how we came out of that draft. In this draft, we're from just 1 spot later, so there will be a lot of the same sorts of strategy decisions, but I think off the top anyway, I think Brock Bowers is a little bit more in consideration this time than the last draft, and partly because we got Kittle and Hurts in the last draft. So
yeah,
I do think that when you start off with a tight end in the early part of the draft, it still kind of limits you a little bit. But again, you're probably not going to want to take Kittle anyways. And if we just are okay with not going elite quarterback, then I don't see any problem with it at all.
Yeah, we want to mix it up. I know even the other Big Gorilla we had started with Gibbs, and then I believe we had Kittle in that one as well. I think it's basically Bowers or Lamb.
Yep.
For us here.
I would agree.
Have you been clicking Barkley? I know we had that one show and you talked about how people are maybe overvaluing the amount of touches he had last year and what kind of regression we can expect this year. Is he someone that you've been clicking in the first round? I still find it hard to click it, but then I was thinking about it yesterday and I'm like, is this just like a huge miss right now if I don't have enough Barkley in these tournaments?
I don't want to be totally out on Barkley, but I'm definitely soft fading him.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess I would say.
Yeah.
I think there are other running backs who offer probably a better chance to get up there. I mean, one thing with Barkley is he did get tackled near the goal line quite a few times, and those turned into Jalen Hurts scores. But those kind of things definitely can happen. He still just doesn't have the receiving upside that you usually need to be a number 1 overall contender. Plus, he had all of that, all the touches and everything, which is just.
So the jungle music is played, Dan. The draft started.
There we go.
We've got Jamar Chase off the board. There goes Bijan, the usual. Probably Gibbs here.
Probably.
Oh
Oh,
no,
CeeDee Lamb.
Dan, is this the universe like sending us Gibbs? What are we doing here?
It is. I mean, I'm fine with Gibbs or Bowers, whatever you want to do here. It's Gibbs basically never drops below the 1.5. So there will be some people at 104, 105 that do have Gibbs. There will be people with 104, 105 who do have Bowers. So I think we can do either way we like.
You want to mix it up, go Bowers, or you want to stick with our? We've got what two? Let's do Bowers. Mix it up a bit.
Yeah, we got a couple Gibbs already. So
all right, I locked it in.
Let's make
Brock Bowers.
We'll make it fun.
I don't mind that. Like you said before we came on air, we did just grab Kittle in the main that we did. We don't want to keep building the same teams, especially in the first 3-4 rounds. Like those are rounds where there's obviously more options that you're willing to consider versus when you get to the back end of the draft. So it's good to kind of mix up especially if you're doing a number of these.
Yes, definitely.
Wow, Gibbs is really falling in this one.
Gibbs is, this will be about as far as I've ever seen him fall.
Very interesting. I wonder what that's about. I don't think there's any news that we miss.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he basically, 107 is about as late as he's ever gone. So totally fine, but Team 7 is probably high-fiving themselves there right now.
Oh my God, yeah. And they got the banana.
Yeah, and the nice thing about getting a Gibbs at 7 is it kind of gives you access to some builds that you might not otherwise be able to get. So, once it starts getting later in the draft, when you see somebody falling through the first round like that, that's where I really want to jump on a player like that, because I know I can get into some builds that just aren't going to be duplicated very often.
So if I'm looking at the board, we've got that chunk of green that normally comes back in the mid to back end of the second. So we could definitely lock up a running back and then just kind of smash receiver if we wanted. Or, I mean, if anything, I keep seeing London going higher and higher, like closer to the turn.
Yeah, I think it would be a real surprise if London made it back down to us. I think we're probably looking, if we're going to go a wide receiver, it's probably going to be an A.J. Brown or Lad McConkey. I don't think anybody else is going to fall. So I think probably our best move is to take the best running back here, and then we can come around.
I think so too.
The third, and honestly, I don't mind even starting one tight end and two running backs if that's,
I was just going to say, like from the third round to like even into the 8th, but definitely into the 7th round, there's a nice chunk of yellow pieces that I like there with regards to the receivers that are available.
Right. Yeah, you can you can really hit some nice receivers rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7. We might hit one round 3, we might not, but I think round 3 it's going to be, the key is just take that best player available.
So Henry goes off. Chase Brown has been sneaking in the front end of the second round quite a bit.
So for me, it's probably London, Irving, or Taylor.
I agree. That's exactly.
I don't hate Josh Jacobs, especially with the massive addition to that Green Bay defense. I think they'll be running the ball a lot, but Jacobs just doesn't catch the ball a lot. And you can say the same of Taylor, I guess, but.
Oh, damn.
Oh, this is perfect. So we're getting either Drake London or Bucky Irving.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm hoping this guy is a real boomer and wants to go double RB here, because then we'd get London. That would be so nice.
I think we will.
Yeah.
That would be a pretty nice start considering where we are.
Yeah, and if it's Irving, I'm going to be thrilled with that too. So, either way that we go here.
with Irving, any concerns with like the offensive line dealing with some injuries, that kind of thing?
Not really. I mean, it would be nice if his offensive line was fully healthy, but Wirfs should be back within the first 4 games. So I'm fine with it.
Oh, Dan, we got decisions. Drake London. I have not seen Drake London make it this far.
It's Drake London for me, and it's
to me it's an easy smash. This is beautiful.
All right, hit the button on that one.
I got it. That's beautiful. I can't believe he made it back to us. I didn't even think that would be an option for us. So the fact that, like I said, I kept seeing him kind of creep in closer to the beginning of the second, and to start off with Bowers and then still be able to get one of those receivers in, for me, is part of that second tier. I think that's beautiful. So we're seeing Bucky fall a little bit, which is nice for the 2 spot if he can get himself.
Yeah, for sure.
That anchor.
Yeah, Bijan Bucky, it was available earlier in the offseason.
Wow, Tyreek Hill. This is going to be a fun draft, Dan. I went to look at the owners. I didn't recognize anyone but your name and mine. So this could be a fun draft for us.
Yeah, well, Team 11 might have the most apt name for this draft, Nuck and Futz, because this draft is already starting to get a little Nuck and Futz.
It is. I mean, for the 1 spot, that's not bad, getting Chase and then being able to double tap JT and Bucky there. So what are you thinking here? I see we've got Trevion in the queue. He's definitely an option here. JSN is always an option on this turn if we wanted to go receiver, but I feel like with the build that we have right now, I wouldn't mind getting our anchor if there's a good one available.
And I think either Trevion or Amarian. And Trevion is my preference. That kid, they love him in New England. They're talking.
Smash it, Dan. Smash it.
1,500 yards. The whole bit. He's just so electric.
I'll let you click that one because I know how much you love your Trevion. But I'm happy to get him, to be honest. Like I don't think I have him in a big tourney yet, unless you and I may have grabbed him. I know I looked up Shopes and I did it at 125s. I think a couple months ago there's a couple values. I think we got Trevion in the 6th round. Mm-hmm. And then Braylon Allen, we got, I don't know, 18th round, like something ridiculous. I was like, wow, it's nice when you see those values that you got a few months ago, you know?
Yep, definitely. And the weird thing about our build is, even though we got a nice falling value in Drake London, the fact that we reached a little bit, according to ADP, for Bowers, who's, goes a lot of times in the 6, 7, 8 range. I think there's going to be a few teams that have Bowers, London, Henderson, and they just drafted him from the 6, 7, 8 hole rather than the 4 hole. But still, it's a combination I really, really like. So at this point, I'm not really concerned about, how many times it's been duped because we've still got plenty of time.
Yeah, the rest of the draft will differentiate us.
Yes, exactly. So, the thing you want to do is you don't want to get too nuck and futz and try to, do crazy things in the first 3 rounds. You just want to get 3 players that you feel really, really good about that you can, are going to be building blocks for your team. I mean, if you can get 3 hammers, and I think we might have gotten 3 hammers, that's ideal.
See a couple triple RB builds here.
Yeah, Team 9 looks like he's drafting for 2021. So
totally, McCaffrey, Henry, Kamara,
and that might work out still in 2025. So nothing wrong with that if that's the way you want to go. That's not how I would go, but it's fine.
So Tet goes off. He's been creeping into that 3rd round now. He was going more in the 4th round. So we see him creep up a bit here.
Yep. I am going to put the 3 elite quarterbacks, the top 3 quarterbacks into our queue, just because this draft has been weird enough. You know, and those guys in the late fourth, they're a big edge, and I don't care if we already got the elite tight end. If I can get one of those guys in the late fourth, I'll be all for it.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm watching the board, and that's exactly what I was thinking. Just I'm curious to see how the top tier of running backs goes. So we see Lamar go off first at the 312. So now I'm curious to see if these guys will follow suit and smash the other two guys, or is it going to fall to us?
Yeah, I think they'll probably be gone, but that's not a guarantee.
Man, some of these guys are really killing the clock.
Yeah, I mean, Team 12, they're getting everything out of their timer on the turn, but that's fine. I mean, you know, everybody gets their 60 seconds, so we'll let them have it.
Have you hit any of these bananas yet in these big gorillas?
I have not gotten a single banana.
Yeah, me neither.
Not even one.
Yeah.
And of course, you got to get them in a row to really amount to anything. But you know, it's a fun little thing. You know, I don't let it color, you know, how I view the tournament or what I do in the tournament. I mean, you know, it's just total random luck what you're going to get anyways. So I guess they did it at the 7-hole just because that's maybe like the least popular number, the one people complain about the most or something. I don't know. I don't mind really any spot in the draft. I can do fine with whatever.
That's the kind of how I feel about it.
All right, do your job. We are gonna get those running backs.
Look at that. 4 RBs to start Breece Hall.
Yep.
I feel like in a tournament like this, I mean, like you said, it could definitely work. I just feel like you kind of take away the chance to hit on one of those later running backs, which is usually one of the ways that you can really propel your team in tournaments like this.
Yep.
There they go.
There goes Jaden Daniels.
So all three, yeah.
Yep. So the quarterbacks went ahead and went off there. I mean, we could look at Burrow.
I'm honestly, I would rather not, just because we already have our tight end.
Right.
And there's some pretty nice receivers coming up here. Like, you know how much I love Worthy. I know you love Sutton. You got Pickens.
Yeah. And weirdly enough, I feel better about them than Evans or Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, Hurts even off the board there. I had A.J. Brown owner, so that makes sense, especially with the other 3 gone.
Right. Yeah. There was pretty much no chance he was getting back to him in the 5th. So if you want him there, that's where you got to take him. So that's fine. It'd be ideal if Worthy falls to us. I would love that. I would love
Worthy here with this build. He's when I started looking at after our Henderson pick, that's exactly who I was eyeing, just kind of where he is in the queue. So I would love to get that as our wide receiver too. I think he's going to smash. Oh, and there it is. Good with Worthy?
Yeah, take him.
Okay, beautiful. I'm loving this team so far. And which is always easy to say in the first 4 rounds, but just like I said, getting London this late to me was a nice gift. I did not expect that. And it just makes our Bauer pick even nicer. You know what I mean? Because if we had gotten Lamb there, I mean, yeah, Lamb with London would have been nice, but now we've got London and Worthy as our top 2 receivers. We've got our stud with huge upside in Henderson. And then you got, you know, arguably the best tight end on the board. I mean, if Sutton or Pickens can fall back to us here, I'm going to be loving this build so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got also put RJ Harvey in there.
I saw that. Yep.
Yeah, if Sutton or Pickens don't fall back to us, I think that would be a really good pick. And then we have Ridley, Jamo, and Igbuka also in the queue. Anybody else you want to add?
No, those are literally the guys that I love Ridley. I'm a big Pollard guy for actually that Gorilla I told you I was drafting from the 12 spot. I ended up getting Pollard come back to me after I started, and then I got Jameson Williams as my fourth receiver. So Pollard is kind of like a safety pick for, oh man, Pickens goes off.
Put him in the queue. Yeah. And there goes Pollard, but that's all right. I mean, if Cortland Sutton makes it back to us, that could be, it's going to be Cortland Sutton or RJ Harvey for me. I think those are clearly the best players.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, as much as I love Jameson Williams, I think it's a little early to take him.
Yep.
Who's this guy going to take here?
Garrett Wilson has really fallen too.
I was just looking at that. His value is pretty. I mean, he's at the beginning of the fourth. We kind of did this with Adams in the main where it wasn't a guy we were targeting, but the value was too good. So right now he's, what is this, fifth round? So he's almost a full round value. I feel like as a wide receiver 3 is pretty nice.
I'm okay with it if you want to go that way. I like him or Sutton, either one.
I'm good with either. Do you have a lean? What do bye weeks matter here? No, 12 and 9.
Typically, when I'm torn, I'm going to go with a wide receiver that plays for the better offense.
Okay, let's go Sutton. That's who we were going. Let's take Sutton. I guess Wilson would have opened up Fields for us, but
he would have.
I think either one is. I feel like they're going to get peppered with targets. Just like you said, Sutton maybe has higher value targets.
Yep, for sure. I'm going to look on Mojo, one of my favorite things to do, and just see how insane the value was for Garrett Wilson. So he has dropped into the fifth a couple of times. This is probably going to be the latest he goes in the entire tourney, though.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like probably 504 or 505 is as late as he's gone ever.
Wow.
And there's, there could be value to that, but on the other hand, I mean, if a player isn't, if he doesn't do well, it doesn't matter how late he was available because he's just
Well, then it just becomes catching the falling knife,
Right. Yeah, Team 7 is probably sitting there trying to figure out how it is that he's he's getting Gibbs at the 107 and Garrett Wilson at the 507 here. So.
And those are tough spots. Like when value falls, like who was it? Well, we were deciding between Adams and Pickens, I think it was, in that other draft. But it's like, do you take the value or do you take the guy that you think that you're hoping would fall to you and that you think is in a better situation? So this time we didn't take the value. We went with Sutton. Like you said, if it could go either way. If Wilson.
I mean, Sutton's got more competition for sure for the ball. But sometimes, I don't know. It's also going to be a bigger target pie, I think, as well. So, and an offense that moves the ball better in general.
He'll have those nice, and we kind of have we've got a nice little divisional with Bowers, Worthy, and Sutton. So they'll play each other a couple times. Those are always fun.
Yep. That is true. And let's see. Denver, it has Green Bay, Jacksonville, and Kansas City. So that's a nice Week 17 correlation with Kansas City.
Someone commented in our main YouTube show about us having best ball brain, still worrying about the Week 17. But I mean, it's not. Obviously, your team is going to change, but it's still a factor. It still matters if you do make it to the playoff rounds to know is this guy going to have this crazy difficult schedule? Are these guys going to play each other week 17, that kind of thing? But it's maybe a bit more relevant in best ball.
Yeah, I think it's more relevant in best ball, but to me, it's very low on the totem pole as far as like when we're making a decision.
Yeah, it's another piece of information.
We didn't even come up with that piece of information until after we'd already made the pick. So
yes.
That lets you know exactly how much we were thinking about it.
Yeah.
Really can't believe RJ Harvey.
I know. I don't want to jinx it.
Jameson, Igbuka, all still sitting on the board.
But this is why I feel like this is one of those, and that's what I was telling you this morning. I'm just thinking of people I talk to that are not as into fantasy, but they'll do like 1 or 2 leagues each year. I feel like they're just starting to get caught up on news now. So that might give us an edge in this draft room.
Right. Definitely. Assuming that Harvey and Williams and Igbuka are gone.
Yeah.
I think looking at Rashee Rice in the 6 is in play because he'd be our wide receiver 4. And we've already got Worthy. And then we
Mahomes.
could stack Mahomes on top of that. So
who's been falling at a pretty decent value. Let me just go back and see where he was. He's falling in the 7th.
Yeah, he goes. We could get him in the 7th. I think for sure. It's possible we could get him in the 8th, but I think if I was, What I think is this. Because there's only 3 teams behind us who don't have a quarterback. So, trying to send them on around in the 8th would be dangerous, but something to think about anyway. We'll see.
Glasses are so dirty. Let me do a quick wardrobe change here. There we go.
I think we'd just take him in the 7th if that's.
I was going to say if we did take Rice there, which I'm not 100% sold on, but it's definitely a consideration. If we did take Rice, I think we definitely have to take Mahomes in the 7th.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I don't think he can fool around with that one.
And I guess the storyline you're telling by doing that is that they're definitely going to be throwing the ball more this year, which I came into the offseason thinking that. But then obviously with the Rice absence, I guess people have backed off on that logic. But yeah, we'll see what falls here. I mean, I feel like Harvey's making it to us, Dan.
Man, it would be nice if he did.
He's going to make it to us.
This is the main event draft season.
A main event team on FFPC $2,000 entry team. Grand prize of $1 million.
I'm looking for that $1 million top prize.
Main event season is in full swing.
This guy's going to go Demont here.
I think this is where Harvey falls, right here. Team 6.
Yep. You jinxed it, Dan. You jinxed it.
Well,
He heard you. So
the other way we could go, if we don't want to do the Rashee Rice, is we could go Evan Ingram here. He might make it around. He might not. But we could go Ingram here.
Bo Nix.
Or we could try pushing Ingram around. That might be the best thing to do since we already have Bowers. I would probably argue for Golden or Dunze if we don't want to do the Rice thing. And I think
There was Golden.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a Dunze or Rice. I think it's one of those two for me. If we go Rice, then we're going to try to take Mahomes. If we go Dunze, then I think maybe try to get Ingram and then go Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, the whole 6-game thing is, and then are we capping our worthy upside by doing that?
Yeah, I don't have a problem skipping on Rice because basically you're going to lose him for 7 games because you got to include the bye week through the 12 weeks of the regular season here. So you're only going to have him for 5 weeks of the regular season. If you fall behind, it's hard to catch up. So
I say we do Udunze.
Okay, got him.
Yeah, I feel like the news out of camp has been really, really positive for him for a while. He's definitely a second-year receiver that I think can pop this year. It seems like there goes JCM again, 6th round. Wow.
Yeah, people are just crazy for him. But if Rashee Rice comes around in the 7th, then we're deciding between him and Ingram probably.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely a conversation there.
Right. Because I think, with only 3 teams from teams 5 through 12, only 3 of them need a quarterback. Getting Mahomes through there is not, and none of them have anything to stack Mahomes with until they take, somebody will probably take Kelsey here. So somebody might try a Kelsey Mahomes stack. But even if we end up with Worthy and Rice without the quarterback, that's still an okay thing, just not quite as ideal. So I think it's Rice or Ingram here. Unless there's anybody else, unless you want to, it's Kelsey and Hawkinson have both not got off the board yet. But I have a hard
There goes
time.
Kelsey.
Yeah, there Kelsey.
I had a feeling this guy was going tight end.
Yeah. I mean, if Hawkinson's there, but
Oh no, there goes Mahomes. Wow. So let's maybe
I don't
Ingram.
know why you wouldn't. If you're going to take Mahomes there, I don't know why you wouldn't. Well, he took Kelsey.
He took Kelsey. That's why he wants to stack.
Yeah, I think I'd have probably gone Rashee Rice, but yeah, it makes sense. I just can't really draft Kelsey. I'm having a hard time doing it. He's just so old, and now he's got this is Narrative Street, which is a dangerous.
He's got a wedding to plan.
He's got a wedding to plan, and the guy is going to have he's going to have paparazzi all around him for the rest of his career.
He's got to figure out which silverware they want to have on the tables. What color ribbon.
All right, and so Hawkinson just went. All right, so now we're definitely on Rashee Rice or Evan Ingram.
I'm kind of leaning more Ingram. You're more on Rice, aren't you?
I'm okay either way. I really am. I'm fine either way.
I feel like Ingram is strong here.
Ingram is strong. I think if you're looking for pure tournament winning upside, it might be Rice, but I'm fine either way. So totally fine.
I mean, we have Bowers. We could go Rice and just ignore receiver for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It kind of gives us that advantage. Yeah. What's your lean? Your lean is Rice?
Let's go Rice. Yeah.
All right.
This is he's not available this weight as often. Wide receiver 37 is I think a good price for him.
I think because we have Bowers early. I mean, it's my best ball brain. I'm thinking, oh wow, we're gonna have Sutton, Ingram, and then hit Bo Nix. But the reality is, this is redraft, and if we have a Rashee Rice sitting on our bench, I know we don't use him for, like you said, 7 weeks, 6-7 weeks, but we have 5 really, really strong receivers in the back end of the season.
Yep.
and we've got 4 really strong receivers that'll get us through the first 6-7 weeks. So now we can just focus on smashing an RB room.
Right. And, you know, looking at our little cheat sheet here, basically the 10th and 11th, the turn there is probably going to be a huge running back turn. I mean, we're going to need running backs before then too, because I mean, we'll probably, unless there's just no value at it, you know, the 8th and 9th are probably going to be running back rounds for, well, one of them will be a Knicks round for us. I think that's still probably the way to go. Well, I don't know. Let me take a look. Let's see where Knicks is going here. So Knicks is going basically, he's kind of going mid-9th.
Yeah.
So if by some
beginning
miracle Ingram makes it back around to us, then we would go. We could go Ingram Knicks, because we have 6 teams that already have quarterbacks, so that will help our odds too of sneaking anybody around.
Man, the running backs are ugly in this range.
A little bit, but I mean,
almost have to reach.
There's some usable players too, so.
I don't see Allen on your little sheet.
Allen.
Braylon.
No, I didn't put him on there. He's been
a bit of a riser.
Yeah, see, you just got one that I didn't have on there, so good catch.
So he's going.
Braylon looks like he's going. If we want him, we're going to have to take him probably in the 9th. The odds of him
on here.
Yeah, odds of him being available in the 10th are probably less than 50-50.
Oh, here he is. Yeah, mid-9th.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, he's definitely in the mix.
Man, Ingram falling back to us would be just more magic for this team right now.
It would. And, I mean, to your point from the other day about Braylon Allen, I was reading an article on The Athletic where they're asking, each beat writer to give one kind of bold prediction for their team. And the Jets bold prediction was that Braylon Allen would be the top rusher on the team. They weren't saying that, Breece Hall was going to be bad or anything like that. They're just saying that Braylon Allen is going to be
Derrick Henry resurrection.
He's going to be the one carrying the mail more, and then Breece would be the one who's catching passes and all that more. And Breece would not be far behind him, on carries and yardage, but they just felt like Braylon was the better runner. Yeah, so this is getting interesting.
Andrew goes off.
Njoku might go before. Njoku might go, and I've even seen Tucker Kraft go before Evan Ingram. So
this guy could definitely go tight end here.
Yeah, us and Team 12 are definitely pushing
running back.
And Team 10.
Wow, 11 went receiver there. I was surprised. I'm surprised on that one.
Yeah, there are some people in the FFPC that think that the 1.5 PPR for tight ends kind of traps people into taking too early, and they think it's easy to just sit back and I've done it, so I can't argue with them. You can
definitely do it. I mean, there's the position is deep, but when value's falling,
right. What we really need is for one of these guys without a tight end to just take Njoku and the other one to not want one.
There he goes.
Yep, there went you.
Yeah.
All right. So then I think we're kind of coming around. I mean, I like Jordan Mason a lot. I think we took him the last time, or at least we talked about it. I don't remember if we actually ended up with him, but Jordan Mason, I think, has.
I think we talked about it and he got taken. You know me with Jordan Mason, man. He's one of my favorite clicks all off season. So I have no problem taking Jordan Mason here. I have so much Jordan Mason where I've been contemplating, like, do I need to maybe dip in the Aaron Jones realm a bit more just to hedge a bit? But it's just, yeah. There goes Njoku.
That's fine. We don't need tight end. So, somebody taking a tight end at this point, now that Ingram is gone, is just helping our cause. So I like that.
I don't think this guy would go Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason.
I don't know. I mean, some people just love to do that double tap. So,
yeah.
Not beyond the realm. But, I mean, we could go Jordan Mason here. And I'll tell you what, if Dobbins makes it around, I think I'd like him better than Nix.
Oh, Dobbins just went.
All right.
Jordan Mason
left for us. Yeah, I think that's a smash.
Done. Beautiful.
Okay.
Feel like at worst he's getting goal line work in a huge offense, and he does have the pass catching ability. The one thing that I did put out yesterday, Dan, and this was because we were looking at Jordan Mason in another draft, and I posted this on X. And like I'm telling you, Jordan Mason's one of my favorite running backs this year, but I did post that he started 2024 with 2 top 5 RB finishes and 1 top 12 in his first 4 games. But from week 5 to 13, his best finish was RB 30.
Yeah, he didn't convert on the goal line. He
was hard to own because he gave you those spike weeks early, and maybe you missed one of them. You know what I mean? Because you didn't really know what you had yet, and then you maybe caught one of those, big games in the first 5 weeks, and then he just gave you nothing. So I know he was frustrating to own, but whole new situation. He flashed enough talent, and they really like him in Minnesota, and we all know Aaron Jones' age situation and touch situation. So it'll be, he's got a lot of upside, I think, in that offense.
Yeah, I think so too.
So Bo Nix there, Braylon Allen, Travis Etienne. Yeah, I'm kind of good with those 3. I mean, Etienne, anytime you fade running back early, he's always a nice safety blanket. Just, I feel like maybe he gets traded. He's at least like the Rashad White in that offense.
Yep. Yeah, I think Braylon is probably the pick. If Bo Nix is gone and it's Braylon or Etienne, I think I'd probably take Braylon just kind of for the upside possibilities. Because Breece Hall could still get moved.
It's one of those, Dan, where there's smoke, there's fire type of things. Like there's just too much talk about it. And normally when there's this much talk about it, a new coaching staff like that, they would come out and try to put the fire out, and they haven't.
Well, they did earlier. Aaron Glenn was saying, no, Breece is our guy. We've got 3 running backs we really like.
How long ago was that?
It was a couple months ago at least.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about like now as they go into the season, you'd think they'd, hype up their main guy a bit more, but they haven't.
Right. And if the Jets are not.
No way.
That's all right.
Dirty.
We got Nix.
All right. Let's do it. Bo Nix.
Yeah. I think Nix is a good structural pick here. We got a really nice quarterback. We've got, I think obviously an elite tight end. We've basically got our starting lineup set here. Not that that's what I go into, trying to have through the first 8 or 9 rounds, but when it happens, it's nice.
Any concerns with the sophomore slump?
With Nix?
Yeah.
No, not really.
Because of his legs, right?
Yeah, he's one of those quarterbacks that's a threat to rush for 400, 500 yards and, score a handful of TDs on the ground anyway. I think he could get 4 or 5 TDs on the ground, and he's got, his weapons are better. He's got another year in the offense. I mean, Sean Payton is a quarterback whisperer. It's not often you see quarterbacks regressing under Sean Payton, so I feel pretty good about it.
Let's see where I am right now with him. Oh, wow. Maybe that's the main that we took Bo Nix. All right. Nice.
Yep.
So far, so good. No
panic.
I really
like.
Yeah, no panic at running back. We're super top heavy at receiver, which is what I love. We've got our Bowers and Nix locked in. And now really we can just focus on smashing an RB room. Unless there's like some nice value falling or anything like that, but
yeah, I'm looking at
I'm putting some names in there.
Okay.
I don't know if they'll fall to us or not, but where are you with Brian Robinson now that he's in San Fran? He's clearly the backup behind CMC, but as much as he was in a good situation in Washington, you always love having a running back in the Shanahan offense in San Francisco. Do you think where do you think he ends up? I'm trying to see where he's been going the last 2 days. So he's been going at the back end of the 11th. Do you think he that's probably where I don't see him necessarily creeping up. If anything, he maybe gets pushed. No, he's kind of in there with those RB2s. I mean, Ramondre's there. It's kind of where he belongs, I think. Ray Davis, like in that range.
Yeah, I would say that's about the right spot. It looks like, he's been going in the 12th, late 11th, early 12th.
Well, we have a nice group of running backs right now in our queue.
Right.
I see you
now
threw in
have to see,
Shaheed. There's a nice little.
See which ones can make it back to us.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a little run going right now. This happened to us in the main too. We're in this exact range, I think, where it was just went green, and it was when we passed on Allen, and then they just got all gobbled up in this range because it's those guys at the back of the draft that started with a lot of yellow. This is where they try to make up the RB position.
Yep. Yeah, totally agree. I don't hate Eckler either. I think he could.
No, I agree. He's someone I've been adding to my portfolio.
Yep. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to hope to get. We've got 5 running backs in the queue and hope to get 2 of those.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There goes another one, Samson.
Yep.
We went Quinshawn in our draft in the main. I know people saying that could go to 0, but that could also be, Amari and Hampton light, depending on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. This might be one of those things where in hindsight, we wish we'd have just pushed up a running back and taken him instead of Nix.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think we had the right idea. If Braylon fell to us there, he would have been a really nice, he would have fit perfectly in our build.
Right.
So I don't know that I'd have to kind of analyze the board here to say if we would have been reaching much on some of these other guys. I guess not.
We'd have been reaching on,
I mean,
Tootin, Blue, Sampson, ETN wouldn't have been a reach, but Tootin, Blue, Sampson, those guys would.
I think Dan, if Eckler falls to us here, he's becoming a really nice value because he goes right next to Allen in the middle of the 9th, and with Robinson gone, I mean, I know everyone's all over JCM, but Eckler, second year, Jaden Daniels already has the rapport. I know my only concern earlier in the offseason was Debo coming in and stealing a bit of that Eckler action. But now with B-Rob gone, I think if anything, we might see Eckler rush the ball a bit more. Oh. And there he goes. All that for nothing. So Benson is there. I always like clicking Benson, just the upside, the talent.
I think Ollie Gordon probably isn't coming back to us. He's been pushing up and up and up.
No, he goes right around here. So it's either and Benson goes like a bit before him. So it's pretty much right here. It's choosing your favorite one. I think, did we not go Ollie Gordon yesterday or in the main, or did I just imagine that?
No, we did not.
I think we missed him.
it.
Yeah. So
I feel better about Ollie than Benson. I mean, I think Benson is fine, but Benson's the one that's more likely to fall.
And you've already got a calf injury with A-Chain as much as, and you know, he's a small back. You know what? Let's go Ollie. Let's take the falling, or not the falling, but the rising, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Benson goes next, which is wow to the Connor.
Everybody's cleaning up the running backs here. I mean, you know, the word is out. You can't let these guys fall into the, you know, the 11th or 12th anymore. You know, they're going early.
Yeah, it gets pretty ugly though, because I'm scrolling down and it gets pretty ugly at the position.
Right. I mean, we could take Chubb, but
I was going to ask you about Chubb. He's not someone I've been clicking much as I love him as a player. It's just, is he, you know, I mean, it looks like Mixon might be just a complete write-off this year.
Yeah.
But is Nick Chubb, you know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't matter. Somebody else took him. Good.
Oh, there we go.
We don't have to talk about it.
Easy decisions are made for us.
Right.
Are we going to have this Quinshawn decision to make again, Dan?
I think there's a very good chance that we are. I think, you know, Ramondre makes sense for us because we have Travion.
He's gone.
And he's gone. Okay, that's fine. I don't mind that. Yeah, this is starting with Travis Etienne. This has been just painting it green throughout this entire draft. There's only been 5 non-running backs in the past 13, 14.
My only thing with Quinshawn is we
16.
kind of need early season production right now with just having 3 and then like not necessarily being able to rely on Ollie Gordon super early. I mean, Trevion should produce early.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, we got Trevion and Jordan Mason. Those guys should produce. We should be filling our flex with wide receivers. So Quinshawn doesn't bother me at all. I think that's the more upside pick if he's available. Otherwise, yeah, I'm probably on the Brian Robinson, the B-Rob train.
Yeah. So you like Quinshawn? Yeah, I mean, so. He's definitely going about a round before Brian Robinson. So, I mean, we could Robinson just lean into it.
Robinson is not going to make it past the McCaffrey or twice for sure. You know, but I think Quinshawn is probably the pick here.
What do you think happens there? You think they just get that thing resolved? Like, what do you think the holdup is?
Yeah, I think it's contract negotiations or whatever. But the thing is, he's gonna want to make money this year.
And they also invested a high draft capital in him.
Yes, a very high draft pick in him. So yeah, I think it's Quinshawn.
All right,
you good with that?
Done.
Okay.
I'm after our last 2 drafts, Dan. I'm a big Quinshawn. I'm a big Quinshawn fan all of a sudden.
Yeah, funny how that works, huh?
Yeah. But those are like, again, in a tournament like this is exactly the type of swing you want to take, you know? Like you look at Rice and Judkins, even if Judkins takes a bit of time to, you know, come in and settle in his role in that offense, you've got 2 pretty big pieces there, Rice and Quinshawn, that can really boost this team going into the back end of the season. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, Mooney wouldn't have been a bad pick either, but you know, he would have been firmly on our bench, and I think Judkins is the pick that's got the more upside to it. I think Mooney is just kind of he would have been a depth piece for us, basically.
I mean, Penix is not a bad QB2 considering we have London.
Right.
And he goes pretty late. I remember the draft we did in that main, he went really late. He was kind of sitting there with a bunch of other guys where I was surprised to see him still on the board. So he goes in the 17th round. There goes Najee. All right, so far, after 11 rounds, we've got Bo Nix at quarterback. We've got Trevion Henderson, Jordan Mason, Ollie Gordon. Excuse me. Quinshon Judkins. Receivers, we've got Drake London, Worthy, Sutton, Odunze, Rice, and then Bowers at tight end. So balancing it out pretty nicely, considering how long we waited for our RB2. And that's what we're doing, is just building that RB2 spot there.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I feel good about where we're sitting at right now. I think we're going to want probably this next turn could end up being 2 running backs again. As you see, I've got a lot of running backs in the queue right now. But there are some wide receivers who would make sense. I'm gonna just kind of. I don't think we need to worry about quarterback at this point. Do you?
So I was just gonna ask you: would you consider, if he came back, because we have Henderson, would you consider Drake May, or do you think that that's too much invested at the quarterback position, considering we took Nix in the single-digit rounds?
I think if we're stuck, I'd consider him.
Like if there's nothing else there we like.
Yeah. But I just put Marvin Mims into the queue. I think
that's a nice one.
He makes sense with our build.
We're going to end up with Pat Bryant again, aren't we?
Yeah, obviously we, Pat Bryant and Troy Franklin are also options. So I'm not too worried about getting Mims. Like I would, if it was between Mims and a running back we really like, I think I'd probably go with the running back we really like here. And as far as tight end, I think, whatever tight end we take, I think should be a real upside bet rather than, just like a
Hunter Henry or something.
Yeah.
So
the only time they're going into our tight end slot is going to be, when Bowers is out.
Yes.
And I don't think a Hunter Henry or an Ertz or somebody like that is going to displace any of our wide receivers. So,
the Arroyos and the Terrence Fergusons, like they go 18th roundish.
Right. Yeah, so I think we're still kind of looking at wide receivers here. Fannin
goes in the 15th.
14th looks like he's been getting pushed up. So.
Oh, I got the last 2 days here. He's going like 15-4.
Yeah, I clicked into the click on him. You'll see
the name or whatever.
About. Yep.
Yeah, because this is average, I think.
Yeah.
For the last 2 days.
Yep. Yeah, and it, like the earlier drafts, if he was, team or players that are rising really fast, or started rising really fast over the last day, typically the preponderance of drafts, from the earlier day will hold them down a little bit more. So, what it shows is the average ADP just doesn't really capture where he's actually usually going.
Yeah. DJ Giddens would be nice with this build.
Yeah, he sure would. Yeah, I like what Team 12 is doing back there, because they've got Amon-Ra and Chase Brown, and then they've got the Lamar, Flowers, Andrews stack.
Keaton Mitchell.
With Keaton Mitchell also in there.
Yeah.
He hammered wide receiver after going elite running back, elite quarterback. Then he's got Higgins, Waddle, Flowers, Addison. So he's sitting really good there. His RB2 is a little bit more of a mystery. I mean, if Tootin and Jaden Blue don't produce right off the bat, he's going to be moving a little bit slow at that position. But
as much as we say the back end of the board is a little more difficult this year, there is a nice advantage to being in that 12 spot, getting those 2 picks in a row and being able to plan a bit more how you build. Like I said, I'm building that big gorilla from the 12 right now, and that's kind of one of the things that's nice about it is those 2 picks in a row are are nice, you know,
Yeah.
to manage.
Yep. You got a long wait, but it is nice. Yeah. So we got Shipley, Giddens, Taj Brooks, Kyle Manangi, Kendre Miller, all in the queue. And let's see, where is...
So we should be able to push Giddens around here, as much as he's my favorite pick out of the guys we're looking at. Just because I'm looking here, he seems to, unless you have something different, he seems to be going at the end of the 14th. So I don't even hate taking him in the 13th on the way back.
Right. Yeah, I think...
But then again, there's a lot of green going off the board here.
Right. I think...
Who's got JT? Are they after us here? No. Okay. Oh, no.
JT
yeah, the
is,
one spot. The one spot.
Yeah. JT is after us. I think Shipley... let's see. Let me pull up running backs here. So Shipley usually goes before Giddens, but yeah, I think you're right. I think Giddens is in danger of going around this.
I think he goes.
Shipley is probably Shipley and Giddens both disappear.
I would probably lean kind of like we talked about with tight end. I would lean Giddens a bit just for the upside, and just with our build, like we're kind of looking for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A guy that's going to start and upside. You're good with Giddens?
Yeah, I'm good with him.
All right, nice. I think now he's officially back as my most owned player on the FFPC, but he's another guy I just love coming in as a rookie, and he obviously ends up on the Colts behind JT. As much as I love JT as a running back, he's injured usually 3-4 games a year. So I think if we get those 3-4 starts with Giddens in this range, that could be huge.
Yep, for sure.
And another example, Dan, of just not panicking at any position. Like, you don't have to panic. If you took value early on, on a receiver like we did here, we've got a nice mix in our backfield with Henderson, Mason, Gordon, Judkins, and Giddens.
Yep. Yeah, I like how this backfield has come together. I think it looks really good. So I think, Marvin Mims is definitely in play here. If we don't like the running backs coming back, I think if Shipley's there, that's the smash pick.
Bruno Fernandes with the penalty kick in the 95th minute right now in Man U. If anyone follows English soccer, they'll know what I'm talking about. I'm a big Bruno Fernandes fan. So a couple tight ends go off the board here. Mims gets taken off the board. Is Shipley where we're looking here, or?
I think Shipley is where we're looking, assuming he doesn't go next.
What round is this, 13?
Yeah, I think we smash Shipley here. He's
Drake May is pretty nice value, actually. He's goes beginning of the 12th.
Yeah, I think Shipley's a better pick for our build.
No, if the two guys that we're deciding between, of course I missed the goal. All right, let's go Shipley.
Okay.
Love Shipley this year.
Yeah, and hopefully we pissed off Team 5, who has Saquon, since they took Austin Eckler on us.
Yes, payback.
We'll pay back. And they took J.K. Dobbins on us too, though we kind of wanted Mason more. So
yeah.
That Matthew Golden pick hurt a little bit. I would have taken Golden over Dunze, I think.
Yeah, especially because we took a Dunze in the main, and I think even Golden went one pick ahead of us, if I remember correctly, in that draft.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, we didn't take Shipley to piss him off, but if it did, it's just
a little added extra sugar on top. So pretty solid now. I think we've balanced out the receiving running back equilibrium on our build here. Just obviously starting with Henderson and then nothing else until the 8th round. We've got a really nice build. It's one of those where when you build teams like this, you open up the opportunity to really hit big on these later running backs. The problem is, and this is what happened on a lot of my builds last year, is if the timing doesn't work out with when these guys pop, because we saw all these, front end older running backs not getting injured last year, that's where it kind of, but I feel like last year was a bit of an anomaly. Yeah, I think I said that right.
It was a weird year for sure.
It was a weird year for running back. So you think things would come back this year. And that's where when you build your team this way, you can really.
Yep. All right. I did put Drake May in the queue. Now that we've got Shipley, if May somehow comes back to us in the 14th.
Well, if that'd be a smash. Yeah.
But Team 11 does not have a quarterback here, so I think there's a very good chance they take one. I mean,
no, well, they have Marvin Harrison.
Caleb Williams.
I'm surprised they didn't take Caleb. I'm surprised they didn't take Kyler with Marvin Harrison.
Maybe they're planning on coming back around with Kyler.
Yeah.
That would be a solid 1-2 punch at quarterback. And then the Goff owner, he might double up on quarterback on this turn too. But other than that, I think
Coker's coming back.
Yeah.
Or he's coming up, I mean. So we can maybe, I mean, if Drake does fall, we could go Drake and then Coker on the way back and probably lock both up.
Yeah, Coker will probably, it's probably going to be an either or. We'll have to pick between him and Coker, because I think if Coker's there in the 14th, he will not be there coming back around in the 15th. But we'll see. Sometime, we have some strange things happening in this draft, though. Interestingly, early on is when the weirdness was happening, and then now it's kind of settled into, I would say a pretty standard draft.
Yeah, I like when the the draft room gets weird, Dan. Those are my favorite drafts.
Right. Yep, for sure.
But I do feel like this is more along the lines of how we normally build our teams, versus what we did in the main.
Right.
And for me, it's just having that security at receiver, like having those top 4, top 5 studs at receiver just brings me comfort. I feel like I can figure everything else out,
Yeah, for sure.
There was Manungai.
Yep. There was a double tap on the Goff owner, put Herbert on the team, so he's got a double tap at quarterback there. So yeah, I think there's a good chance Baker Mayfield. This is the one team I'd worry about also taking Drake May, because he does have Diggs. They might
go Fields with Wilson though.
They might. I think it's depends on what he likes, but he's got Diggs on that team too, so he could go either way.
True.
And if he does go May, I'm not going to be too upset.
He goes Murray.
All right.
I will be really happy if we can get Drake here. Love me some Drake May this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, both of the 2 picks ahead of us went 4th round QB. We're getting Drake May.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance of it. And he'll only be our second Week 14 bye player. And in the Gorilla, Week 14 matters a lot more, just because you in the main event, you finish first or second, you've already gotten a payday that paid for the league. Just because you're getting either.
Oh, wow. This is a gift, Dan. I'm smashing this so fast right now.
Yeah.
I can't believe they went Jordan Love ahead of Drake May. As much as Love has been a nice value this year in drafts, I just feel like Drake May, wow, we got him. This is what, 14th? This is like a 2-round discount. He's going beginning of the 12th. And we got him at the end of the 14th, which is just beautiful.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's really nice. I think we're probably going to be picking between Harold Fannin or Jalen Coker.
Yeah,
Brooks is all right, but I think we're okay at running back.
Oh no! Did Fannin just go, or did you and I both move? We're both moving the same guys. That's why I was like, did somebody just take Fannin? So let me just see here. So 15th round. Yeah. So if we get Fannin here, it's basically where he's going, and the one in the 2 spot already double tapped tight end, unless they have ones that I can't see, but they don't. So unless this guy who has Kittle, he's probably the guy we're dodging here for Fannin on the way back.
Yep.
Oh no, there goes Coker.
And there goes Coker. Yep. Yeah, I think if Fannin goes, then we're probably looking at one of our running backs.
Yeah, this is the only guy we're dodging. We're gonna get Fannin. We're gonna get Fannin here. There it is.
Boom.
There it is, Dan. Boom.
Nice.
Beautiful. That's a perfect pair with Bowers.
Yep.
All right, this might be one of my favorite Big Gorilla teams so far.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. And Fannin will be at New England when Bowers is on bye.
There we go. We'll be watching that one, Dan. Drake May, Fannin, Henderson.
Yep.
Judkins.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. We'll have a lot going then. All right, yeah, this team is shaping up really, really nicely. I think we'll probably look to take one more. Probably a couple more wide receivers, another running back, and then a kicker and a defense in some order. Don't you think?
Yeah, we still have Taj and Kendry there. I mean, Taj is pretty much at the top of the queue, so I could see him going soon. Kendry might fall to us. What about Kyle Williams for upside receiver with Drake May?
He seems kind of buried on the depth chart right now, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I think I would really almost rather go Boutte super later because Boutte's got a starting role.
Yes, I was reading about that yesterday.
And whoever takes Kyle Williams might end up dropping him.
Okay, he's dealing with injury, I think, right now too.
Yeah, the other guy that I've really kind of soured on that I used to be high on is Dante Thornton. I think when Amari Cooper came in, that was kind of the death knell because both of them play the X position, and it was like Thornton looked like he was doing great, and then all of a sudden he was just not quite. Once the the preseason game started and competition got a little bit more real, he wasn't holding up, and then they went out and signed Cooper, and I just can't see Dante Thornton playing over Cooper.
I just threw in a bunch of names in there, threw Brian in there, obviously. Jarquez, who we missed on yesterday, he's still sitting there. Arroyo, if we wanted to add a third upside tight end play for flex spots. Malik Washington, and then Trevor Etienne.
Yep, and I just put in Torrey Horton too. I think he's a fun one.
Yeah.
Oh, and Tesla.
Yes.
Or Tesla, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
I think he's a really fun play. I mean, he's a guy that probably any of these guys are probably sitting on our bench.
Yeah. Do we want to throw Franklin in there too?
Yeah, throw Franklin in for sure.
Ayamanor?
Yeah, we can throw him in there. I think if it gets down to that point, though, I'd almost rather go with like Cavante Turpin or somebody who has the free look.
The free look.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, here was another one from that Athletic article. The Cowboys beat writer was suggesting that Turpin could score 8 touchdowns this year.
Wow.
He thinks, he thinks they're going to heavily use him as a gadget player. So
well, that's good to know.
I kind of like him, kind of as a at the very last round, because you get that free look, and he's a really, if he's a bigger part of that offense than we think, because their running backs don't look great, and Turpin can play from the running back position. So, I think he might be a sneaky guy that people are really looking to add. And if he scores in the first week, the first game, those Friday and Saturday drafts in Vegas, he's going to all of a sudden pop up to like the 11th, 12th round probably.
So we have 5 picks left. Let's say we do kicker and defense 18, 19. We take Turpin in the last pick.
Yep.
Like we did in the main. So we've got 2 picks right now with all these guys that are sitting in our queue.
I like taking Pat Bryant as one of these.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, we've got him in every team, and we've got a Bo Nix stack happening here.
Yep. And honestly, we could just go Pat Bryant and Troy Franklin on the turn, assuming that nobody takes him from us, but go both of those guys and then just kind of see after a week or two how things are shaking out, because I think probably one of them is going to end up being better than the other, fantasy-wise.
Okay.
That's a possibility. We could also,
I was kind of looking at Jarquez there. I'm trying to see where he goes.
Yeah, Jarquez is a really fun one too. So I'm fine with just, let's see. Jarquez usually goes in the 17th.
Yeah,
so.
Taj goes in the 15th. Is Taj gone yet? No, he's not. And then Jarquez in the 18th.
Yeah, for this build, I don't know, man. I might like Jarquez even better than Taj.
I'm really liking Jarquez for this build right now.
So you want to do Pat Bryant here, assuming he doesn't go? If he does go, then we do Troy Franklin.
Yeah, I like that. Jarquez is quite a bit down in the queue, so he should make it back to us.
I think so, unless somebody's really pushing him up there. I mean, I have seen it, but
yeah, we'll take on Bran. Pat Bryant's like our lucky charm. I told you, Dan, we win 6 digits this year. We're getting Pat Bryant jerseys. All right, Pat Bryant gone.
Nice.
And then I think Jarquez on the way back would be nice.
I think so.
And then we can deal with our kicker defense situation.
Yep.
Malik Washington. Seems he's past. Who's the guy that came over from Tennessee that gave us some touchdowns last year?
Oh, Nick Westbrook.
Yes.
Kine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's ahead of him, Malik.
Yeah, he might be. It's hard to say.
There was Arroyo.
Yep. And Tesla went.
It's crazy when you think how buried Jarquez is. Remember, for a while he was going like really high, like early teens.
Right.
And now he's just fallen.
All right, another tight end. We'll see if the Kittle team finally takes a tight end too, or he might just run naked Kittle. You never know.
Jarquez here?
Yeah, I think so. I think that fits our build really well.
Nice. All right.
He's a guy that we're probably going to have to hang on to, but I'll tell you what, I think, Blake Corum and, Kyron Williams are pretty much the same guy. I mean, I think that Corum can sub in for Kyron and do the same things, but I think the one guy who has a unique skill set is Jarquez Hunter. And, so that's what makes him more interesting to me than Corum, is just that unique skill set, that he is a really, really good pass catcher. He has a lot of juice. He's got a lot more speed. So he does all those things, I think, better than Corum or even Kyron Williams, just from a pure, prospect standpoint. Obviously, you cannot argue with what Kyron Williams has done in that offense, and Sean McVay has been very, very willing to keep feeding him, even though he's not the most efficient player in the world. It seems like he's doing good enough type thing.
Yeah, I mean, especially these offensive-minded coaches, like when they get their guy that they like and they're comfortable with and they've had success with, it's hard for them to, who are we to disagree with them? At the end of the day, we think we manage fantasy teams, that we can run a team and we know who's better than who. But at the end of the day, they see him every day on the field, in practice, in training camp, in preseason. So, it's one of those.
And there's a lot of subtleties, that go into playing running back that, the average fantasy,
totally.
Manager is not going to pick up. And even the film guys, you can't necessarily pick those things up as well as, these running back coaches and head coaches and all that are offensively minded, who've been on the field with them basically every day. So, we're just picking up little things in games, but what they're doing in practice and stuff like that really matters too.
All right, let's see what falls to us here. I'm usually kicker ahead of defense, especially if we can get like a McLaughlin or one of the top guys to fall to us here.
Yeah, I kind of like
Butker
and Elliott for the free looks.
That's right.
Kansas City defense also. McLaughlin definitely is not a bad.
Who's KC playing first week again?
They're playing the Chargers.
That's right.
Friday night. Yep.
Okay. All right, so 3 more picks. We've got Bo Nix, Drake May tag teaming at QB, Henderson, Mason, Gordon, Judkins, Giddens, Shipley, Jarquez Hunter at running back, London, Worthy, Sutton, Odunze, Rice, Bryant at receiver, and then Bowers, Fannin, dynamic duo at tight end.
Yep. Yeah, this is a nice looking team.
It is. It's definitely one of my favorite builds so far this year.
Yeah, and I think my second favorite team in this whole room is Team 12.
12 spot.
They've put together a really, really nice squad.
And that's twice now that we've seen that, because the main was similar. The 12 seemed to be one of the more popular ones, and I know a team that we liked.
Right, exactly. And, of course, we knew the drafters in that 12 hole are sharp dudes. So
Yep. Almost 2 more picks. We're almost done. 2 more picks. My wife just walked by. They're waiting for me to go to this skateboarding competition we're going to.
Hurry up. This draft is actually moving quite fast.
It's not bad. It started off a little slow, but even though it was on the end, so it wasn't too bad, but it's kind of been nice, a good flow to it.
Yeah, we could get this thing done in an hour and a half, which is
that's what I was looking at. I was like, wow, it's not even 12:30 yet.
Yep. But a couple of things that Team 12 did, I mean, they're going naked Lamar, which I think if you've got a Lamar Jackson, grabbing a backup quarterback is just kind of a little bit of a wasted pick, because you're going to use him exactly one time if Lamar stays healthy. And again, you want to draft as if your players are going to stay healthy and you're always doing the right thing. And so like he took his 5 receivers, but then when he finally came back to receiver after hitting tight end and running back to catch up there, he hit Romeo Dubes and Torrey Horton, which I think are 2 really, really good picks. And he's got Tootin Blue and Woody Marks as 3 running back 2 candidates who could each fall into large roles. Keaton Mitchell, Blake Corum, Justice Hill, all very, dependent on what happens in front of him. But, basically, he does not have Derrick Henry, but he's got everybody else.
Oh, no. Butker goes literally right ahead of us.
I think that's fine. I think we take the KC defense here and try to get Elliott to come back around.
Where are they? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with either one.
Okay.
So KC defense?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
That Athletic article, they were, the Kansas City beat writer, his bold prediction was that Kansas City leads the leagues in sacks.
Wow. Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, he says they got a ton of pressures last year, which just didn't quite convert into sacks. But usually, when you put a lot of pressures on, those end up converting to sacks a little bit more. So
interesting.
Yeah.
It's like looking at targets, right?
Yeah, exactly. Pressures are what, really wreaks havoc on opposing passers too, because anytime you put a quarterback under pressure, not only can you possibly get a sack, but you can also, they might throw an interception. They might have to scramble for a loss. They might be checking down. So, instead of a long play, it's just a very short gainer or something like that. So pressures generally correlate best to defensive points in fantasy.
Am I missing something with Cincinnati defense going there? I feel like that's usually one of the last defenses off the board, especially with San Fran sitting there and Minnesota.
Yeah,
that's an odd one
either.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
But
all right. Well, good thing we took KC there because a little defense run, and then you want Jake Elliott here.
Yeah, I think Elliott
for that free look.
Free look. And Elliott, if the free look doesn't pan out, he's somebody I don't mind just cutting if that's what we have to do. So.
I agree. I mean, McLaughlin's still sitting there, but the free look is huge.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm going to throw in a couple of other free look guys because I think the free look is kind of the fun way to go with this last pick.
I totally agree. Is Sanders still an option?
I think he is.
But it sounds like Turpin is the better option.
Yeah, I think Turpin is the more fun option for sure. So
he's the Joker, Dan. He's the Joker of the Cowboys.
There you go. That's exactly it. So I think one of those guys should be there. I'm going to move Etienne and A.O. Menor down.
I feel like if there's a room that's going to snipe us on a Turpin, it's probably not this one. That's the way I feel about it right now.
And somebody just grabbed Miles Sanders, looking for that last round. So, and with our defense and our kicker also, if we do end up hanging on to them, they have kind of late-ish buys, week 9 for the kicker, week 10 for the defense, which is always a plus as well.
Guys, if you haven't checked it out yet, Dan and I just dropped a main event, $2,000 entry on the channel. Tight end one loading, little Kittle action on the cover there. And we still have our Big Gorilla that we did almost 2 weeks ago now that's been just crushing views-wise relative to, what we do on the channel here. So those are 2 big tournaments you guys can check out. And John Daigle with the Big Gorilla draft map 3 days ago now is also available on there. Yeah, that was a good one. John always brings a goodness.
Super sharp.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Looks like, I think we're gonna get Quentin Johnson just went off. That would have been a fun one too. For a final pick.
Yeah, I mean, KLS is also funnish. I don't know how much he gets first game. It depends on, I guess, how healthy Quentin is.
Right.
Wow, Kyle Williams is still sitting there, eh?
Yeah, because I think, everybody's kind of figured out that he's just, he's not going to be a contributor early in the season. So off him. All right, let's see what this guy does. See if he can break our hearts one more time and take Turpin. There we go. Nice.
All right, smash it. All right, Dan.
Bam.
Another fun one. This is definitely a fun team going into the Big Gorilla. So let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments, guys, what you think of the build. I think we both agree Team 12 put up a pretty nice build, but we're liking what we did here from the 4 spot. And make sure you guys are tuned in, subscribed, like the show, always helps out. And we'll see you guys later this week with a couple more big drafts coming. Good luck in your drafts and enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Cheers.
District, you know the Pope listens. Dynasty, our religion, for the blokes missing. On all of these trades, on all of these plays, on all of these grades. By the end of the day, y'all getting played. So, what you gonna do next? Try to fill up that flex? Send the homie a text? That trash offers the best? You try to make it complex, then they text you back. Now all of a sudden they don't make any sense. Broaden your horizons, boy. Dynasty's not for the Simons, boy. These trades not for consignment, boy. Respect your opponent, y'all some piranhas, boy. This my advice from me to you. Open up your cute little podcast queue. Search up GOAT District, my dude. Pop it in your ear, man. Y'all know what to do. It's the and I always be traded. And I always be traded. And I always be trading. Y'all try to betray them, but first you gotta bait them. Fish.